Hello friends, this is not odds, or that's what they tell me. And today we're going to be doing a commentary video on the Chaos Shuffle because I just got done with my very first 5.5 hours of playing that darn bad boy. And my good news is that I think I like it more than the main mode, which is funny because I thought that it was going to be the opposite, where I was like, oh, I'll come out and I'll play it for like a couple hours and then I'll be bored of it. But, you know, a sudden turn of events, I actually think I like it way more than the main mode. And I think there's actually some objective reasons to like it more than the normal game mode, and we're going to talk about that today. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I think the beauty, the majesty, to really prop it up there, really exaggerate for funsies, to the majesty of the Chaos Shuffle mode is that everybody's on the same playing field. So the thing that makes Dead by Daylight really unfun, or one of the biggest reasons that make Dead by Daylight really unfun, is the lack of expectations of what kind of match you're going into. This is the reason that CompDB actually kind of works and has the audience that it has, is because there's a set rule set that everybody's abiding by going into comp. So even though everybody is sweating the hardest they possibly could, they're all abiding by the same rules, and the expectations that everybody is going in to sweat. In PUBDBD, this is not the case. Some people are going in with quad slowdown, tunneling at 5 gens, trying to make the most like sweaty diet comp experience you could possibly have. And then some people are running a very funny zany power struggle build and trying to get as much value out as possible and failing almost every match. And those are the people that you get as your teammates in solo queue. TLDR, there's kind of no set expectation on the level of how hard somebody is going to try when you're into the match, that either being the survivor or the killer. You don't know how either the team or the killer is going to act, what kind of game they want. They could be nurse quad slowdown, it could be a 4-man BNP squad, and it's going to be very rough. Or it could be like a complete pushover, and there's just no way to tell. What the Chaos Shuffle does is it limits everybody to random perks. So unless you just get very lucky with the RNG, by and large, you're going to have good perks, and then you're going to have meh perks. You're going to have some perks that you'll probably get a little bit of value out of. You might get some you get lucky, like I got popped like 3 times when I was playing killer, or you might get an exhaustion perk, you're like, oh wow, neat. But it's all up to RNG. So everybody in terms of the perks are on the same playing field. The expectation is everybody is going to be playing with random perks and not putting together a very strong build. So the expectation, in a sense, is the same for everybody. Yeah, people still sweat in this mode. People will bring brand new parts because items and add-ons are not affected, which I understand why, because, for example, on Killer, that could lead to some very nasty situations where you randomly get a Scratch Mirror Myers randomized, and then you get an outdoor map and you just can't do anything. But outside of items and add-ons, you are just kind of like up to the mercy of whatever the RNG decides, which is the same playing field as everybody else inside that match, which means that nobody can put together a very sweaty build and screw over the other side just through, you know, cheesing perk value. And I think it's funny because, like, we always talk about this. This is kind of like the DBD community, whether you even have a commentary channel or not. There's always the biggest talking point in Dead by Daylight is just like how much the perks play the game for you and how much perk imbalance does create a lot of problems in the game. But I didn't really understand to the fullest extent how much it does until we all can't pick our perks. Once we finally have no control over our perks, we really see that the game is pretty fun and pretty well balanced once all these things aren't here. It really is the quad slowdown blight making you miserable. It really is the swift on comms with all gen rush perks making you miserable. That really is the core of quote unquote the issue with Dead by Daylight, is that people are trying to cheese the game in their favor, trying to essentially, you know, get ahead of the odds and curve it in their favor before the match even begins. And instead of them playing well, they're playing off of perk value instead. And I think it kind of just like shows us, it gives us a window into the fact that perks really do kind of carry the results of a lot of games, and most people aren't that good at the game, to be honest with you. Most people are kind of dog, and they just kind of like coast on their slowdown perks, coast on their gen rush perks, and don't think twice. Coast on their map offerings, that's another one, but that you can still bring map offerings in the Chaos Shuffle, so that's why I didn't bring that one up. The point being is, once there's that big gap there, that there isn't just I'm just going to preload my build to be as strong as possible and call it a day. Once that is gone, suddenly the game's super duper fun. Suddenly you get to just enjoy how good your character's kit is. Like I just played Xenomorph so much today. I played a lot of other killers too, but I played so much Xenomorph today because I'm like, I just like playing Xenomorph. It doesn't really matter what perks I get on this character. I have a good time. And it was just great to actually have you know, my skill and my fun on the character show through over stressing over gens getting done too quick, or stressing over this guy potentially having DS, or stressing over this guy having off the record or something like that. On Survivor is the same way too. Like when I did my Survivor, I only did one Survivor today, but it was really nice to see like just like the way I felt playing the game was that like, oh, hey, if I go in and somebody gets downed, that's not going to immediately come over to my gen with a pain res. It's not going to come over to my gen with a pop. Like this isn't going to immediately transfer into immense oppressive slowdown. Sorry, Mike. Didn't mean to bop you there. This isn't going to immediately transfer into immediate slowdown on my gen and put me back and make me annoyed, because like, unless they got lucky, they may not potentially even have a strong slowdown, or it may be one of the weaker slowdown, or, you know, that's the only slowdown they have is the one. So I felt more comfortable playing both sides because I just knew that the odds of them having strong perks was not there. And as a result, I think I had the most fun I've had on Dead by Daylight today than I have in a really, really long time. Just having the flexibility to play, to mess around, and not have to worry about the oppression of the perks, it was extremely fun. And I think it, like I said, it does kind of unfortunately show a window into like how much perks dictate the matches. And I think we can learn from that. But now we have a way to avoid it. And Matthew Cote did say in a recent interview that any of these modes, these alternative modes that we like, they are open to keeping them around if we like them a lot. And honestly, I like the fact that this game mode, it literally hard counters sweat and prevents sweat from happening, because the strongest things you can bring in Dead by Daylight are stacked perk builds, and that's just not a thing. So it's actually pretty great. So if you've not tried the Chaos Shuffle, or you're worried about the people that say like, oh, my teams always bring BMP toolboxes, and the killers I bring always bring the best add-ons, don't be afraid to try it, because I had some of the most fun that I've had on the game in a really long time. So yeah, what was your experience on the Chaos Shuffle? Let me know down in the comments below. But that's gonna be it for today's video, friends. But I do upload daily, so I will see you tomorrow. But if I do not, I'll see you when I see you. Bye.